Hi, I'm Pat and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to do a hardwire dash cam installation in the Acura NSX. If you're new to the channel, please click the subscribe button and ring that bell for notifications, as I'll be producing cool car content like this. Today I'm going to install a dash cam in the Acura NSX. And if you've seen my video of me installing a dash cam in the BMW i8, it's pretty similar, except that this will be hardwired to the fuse block. I'm using a DDPai Mini 3 dash cam, which is very inexpensive and has given me nothing but excellent results. It's the same one that I installed in the BMW i8, so definitely check the link in the description for the video of that particular install if you're curious about the DDPai Mini 3. In this video, I'm going to concentrate more on the fuse block hardwire installation, so let's talk a little bit more about that. This is a hardwire kit that I picked up on Amazon called NuCam, which prevents the battery from being drained below 11.8 volts. That means that this can be hooked up full-time to pretty much full-time battery and be able to record all the time, except that when you hit 11.8 volts, it no longer connects to the battery anymore. This prevents you from killing the battery. Now what's interesting about this is it has a little pigtail here, a quick disconnect, which goes to a fuse block, and of course this is where you would connect your ground section. And on the other end is a USB cable. Now it normally comes with this little USB mini port on the end, but the Mini 3, the DDPai Mini 3, has a USB connector that's the USB-A male side. So in order to go from a micro male to a style male, I had to buy this adapter as well. So this is just going to plug on the end here, and then I'm going to use the existing cable that came with the DDPai Mini 3 to connect to this. So this is all going to be tucked up in under the dash, and at the very end of this is where my dash cam is going to be plugged in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook this section up first, and I'm going to do a little bit of testing. I'm going to make sure that I can plug a device in here and that I get the full 5 volts USB and everything works perfectly. So I can hook up like a cell phone charger, for example. So as soon as we get it connected up and find the proper fuse that we can connect 12 volts, we should be able to connect this and test it out before we hook up our dash cam. Now this NuCam kit came with multiple little fuse tabs. So that little pigtail would plug into one of these, and you could use one of these to connect to your existing fuse block connection. So we will need this size in the Acura NSX. So what I need to do is I need to find an existing fuse that has full-time power and replace it with this, and then put the fuse into here. So that way it completes the circuit for whatever device it's protecting inside the Acura NSX. And this little fuse here will allow me to connect to that device, the NuCam, to provide power full-time to my camera. That way we protect what we're tapping into, as well as protecting the connection to the dash cam. Alright, so in order to identify the fuse block inside the Acura NSX, all we got to do is go under the dash. And I already have my tester down here and a light so I can see what I'm doing. But right here is our fuse block. So if we take a look up, we can see all the fuses. And right here is our fuse diagram. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use this probe. I'm going to use the black connection to connect to ground, which is conveniently right there in the back of the firewall, or this side of the firewall anyway. And I'm going to use the red probe in order to find a fuse, which is giving me full-time 12 volts. And I already have my voltmeter set to DC volts. So I should be able to find that relatively quickly. Once I find that, I can go ahead and pull that fuse and then replace it with that little pigtail. So the first thing I'm going to do is just take a picture of the diagram so I know which fuses are what. And then that way I can examine this closely and determine exactly what fuse I may or may not want to connect to. So for example, door locks, I really don't want to mess with that. If I start tapping into that and I cause a problem, I can never get in my door. So the closest one to me is a 10 amp, and it looks like this is a door handle. So when you unlock the car, the door handle will pop out, and that means it should have power all the time, I'm assuming. So we can always connect to that, and if we don't have power full time, then we could pick a different one at a different time. But I think that's what I'm going to go with first, is that 10 amps. so we could use our voltmeter and verify that that is actually giving us power right now. Yep, 14.5 volts. Now the little pigtail that I found here has the same identical bottom to it, so I can then go ahead and install that fuse. Oh, it's crooked. Got to get this in here just right. I think that's it. I think we got it. Yeah, okay. So now I have a 10 amp fuse in here, which protects the original circuit, and then a 5 amp fuse running to the actual dash cam pigtail. That way everything will be protected well. Now let's go ahead and insert this back into the fuse block, and then we'll test to make sure we have voltage here. All right, now that we have the tap installed, I can go ahead and check to see if it has voltage at the pigtail. So I'm going to stick the red probe in there, and then I could touch the ground again. Yep, and we have 14.5 volts. That's a good sign. On to the next step. At the end of our little device here that connects to the 12 volts is also a ground connector. I'm going to go ahead and hit the ground connecting screw here on the firewall with a 10mm socket and back it off a little bit so that I can connect this to ground. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and connect the 12 volt side, and then connect this device and see if we're actually getting any type of voltage to a USB accessory. All right, so I have my Draggy now. I'm going to plug that into the USB connection. And there we go. It's actually charging, so that's a good sign. This is definitely working. All right, so here's our new dash cam, the DDPai Mini 3. And in here is a little hole. This is your power connection. And that's it right there. It's a 4-pin power connection. And of course, it uses USB. So what I'm going to do is connect this to the new system that I connected under the dash, and then verify that this is working using the app. All right, so here's our dash cam, and we got the app set up. So the instruction booklet is very helpful, making sure that we got this set up correctly, and we can actually see ourselves in there. All right, so the next step will be to find a good place here on the dash in order to put the dash cam. So I've gone ahead and decided I think I'm going to go ahead and just place it right behind the mirror, so it'll be up and away, and then I can actually see exactly what's in the front of my vehicle. So the next step is going to be to go ahead and figure out a way to get this wire tucked up and inside this leather piece. Now it does come with a little plastic piece, and I have some trim tools as well to try to pull this back so that I can run the wire down and under the dash. And if I use this particular pry tool, I have this in a kit of trim tools, I can actually get up and underneath the headliner and pull it down far enough to be able to get this wire tucked. So I'm going to go ahead and use that tool in order to get all the way down and around. There's a link in the description below for a kit like this. This has assorted trim tool plastic pieces. These are very, very good for jobs like these. All right, so I've tucked up all my wires up and away here, zip tied them out of the way, so they're no longer an issue, and connected or pushed my harness down inside here and around here, around the outside and down. And all I have to do yet is just connect the camera. So I'm going to go ahead and put some alcohol on the window and then peel the sticker here off the back of the camera. I can line it up using my cell phone and it'll be installed. All right, there's our camera installed and there's our view. We're in good shape, and this is going to continue to record for us while we're driving down the road or while we have it parked. So there we have it. Our dash cam is now installed on the dash. I turned the overhead lights off so there wouldn't be that much reflection, but you still can't see it that well. But it's there, and it's running all the time now. And of course, the battery is being protected against draining. So that wraps up today's video. If you like this video, please give me a big thumbs up. Any questions or comments, drop them in the comment box below. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please click the subscribe button and ring that bell for notifications. I'll be posting cool content just like this. Thanks for watching, and happy motoring.